Hi, I'm Ann Ganguzza, and I'm sitting here with my wonderful friend and colleague, Ashley Snyder, a multi-talented actress, voiceover talent, and makeup and hairstylist. Ashley,
Ann,
good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So, multi-talented you are. So, let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
How did you get involved in acting?
I'd say it started in high school. I needed a fine art for college, so I did drama, and my teacher said, hey, you should try out for the play. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And I did, and I got a part, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And didn't really know that I liked it. So, but I got on stage, and all of a sudden, I got my first laugh, which is funny because it wasn't necessarily a comedy, but I kind of fell in love at that moment, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was really kind of amazing, and it kind of felt like home. So I just continued to do it, and I went to college for theater as well because my dad was like, I was having trouble finding a major. I liked everything. I liked math, science, all this stuff, but I wasn't necessarily like in love with it. He's like, you really seem to like acting. He's like, why don't you go for that? And I was like, you want me to go for acting? Like, it just seemed like a crazy thing. What parent tells them to just go ahead and go, So that's what I did.
That's wonderful to have that kind of support.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
So you majored in theater in school.
Across Fullerton, yeah.
Now, you and I know each other through a mutual friend,
Yes.
David H. Lawrence the 17th,
Yes.
and through voiceover. So how is it that you went from acting to voiceover?
Well, it was kind of just a random day. I had met someone through a mutual friend, and he worked in TV, and I'd kind of gotten to know him a little bit, and so he was working on TV shows, and one of them was like The Ghost Whisperer, and he was like always kind of trying to get me on it, and then it got canceled. And then he started,
I remember that show.
Right. And so then he started working on a show on ABC Family, and he's like, hey, you want to come in and sit in on an ADR session? And I was like, heck yes I do, like why not? And so I did, and I got to see like the whole process in front of me, and it was an aspect of acting that I never really thought about before, and actually the actors that were in the room invited me to join in, and so I did. And
on an ADR session?
Yes,
wow,
I got to do it with them, and I was like, I can't miss this experience. And I got a line on it, which aired, which was kind of cool. And that's where I kind of fell in love with voiceover. I was like, this is a whole another door almost to do. And so I started researching it and looking into it, and that's how I found David H. Lawrence the 17th. And he kind of started mentoring me a little bit, and I started taking his classes, and that's how I met you.
Yay.
And the rest is kind of history.
I remember that day as you walked up the stairs, and we had just such an immediate connection. We clicked, and it's been, we've been fast friends for years now.
So many years now. You made me have little tears.
and to actually get into voiceover through ADR is kind of a different path to fall into that.
Yeah, completely.
And so now in voiceover, you're doing something a little bit different, right?
Yes.
You're working in audiobooks.
Yes, I mostly do audiobooks.
Wow. So tell me about your audio. You've done quite a few, actually.
I've done about, I think 9 so far within the past 2 years or so, which is, I think, kind of a lot for reading out loud.
And especially when you have other things that you're working on too.
Absolutely. So, So my favorite books that I've done are by Pamela Fagan Hutchins. There's a 3-series book starting with Saving Grace. Amazing books. Good stories. They're murder mysteries, which I kind of love, and a little bit of love story involved too. So.
And you had to create characters too. Quite a few characters.
So many characters. The main character is from Texas. However, the whole book takes place in the islands, so I have like a Jamaican accent the whole time.
Wow.
And I'm also talking like a Texas person, and it's crazy.
How much research did you have to do before you could actually record? Because that's not only to just take on the characters, but also the accents too. I mean, that's...
Well, in college, super helpful, I learned IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet, and we did dialogues all the time. So I did a Welsh play at one point, so I was super familiar with like doing different dialogues, and so I would just go online, I'd look up movies, I'd listen to people,
if anybody needs a dialect, I think Ashley's your girl.
I mean, if I can't do it, I'll definitely learn it, and I will do my best.
So that's not all you're doing. I'd like to know how, because I know myself when I was in voiceover and doing other things in part-time, it's very difficult to discipline yourself to be able to do that every day and to continue living the dream, so to speak, because I absolutely loved it. But when I was working multiple jobs, how do you How do you do that? How do you divide your time, or how do you keep yourself disciplined? Because VO is a love for you, and audiobooks are not easy to do. I mean, they take a lot of work and effort, especially if you're doing your own editing. So how do you manage that?
I guess I would kind of just put it in my calendar. I'd say, okay, I'm going to do this many chapters a day, and my goal was to at least finish, one chapter wholly and then move on. And also you'd have to think about, okay, when are planes flying by? When are people home? Because I have my own little studio at my house that I made in my little closet. And when my husband's not home, that's key too. So
needs to be quiet.
Kind of just have to plan it out. And mostly during the week, weekends were impossible. And then also it got crunch time, and you're like, okay, it's booked, I gotta go. And I always, I think I thrive in the pressure of you have to get it done by this time. So I would always get the best work done at the very end.
What's your newest project? Do you have a new book that
I don't have a new book
because
I've been working on my latest ventures.
Oh,
yeah.
What's your latest venture?
Yes, my latest
I assume it
ventures.
has something to do with maybe your next talent, which is hair and makeup.
Yes, it does.
Talk about that.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
So I am starting a YouTube channel. It's called Ashley U Life.
Oh, I like that.
AKA Ashley University. I took it from my maiden name, the U, and so it's
Ashley U.
Yeah, Ashley U, and it's kind of my school of life. I'm going to do hair and makeup, but I'm also going to do crafts. I'm also going to do, how you should camp and pack. I'm a glamper. I'm totally glam. I have, my goal
That
is
would be me too, yeah.
I have a comforter, I have a fur rug, I put carpet down, I have drawers that I pack in, I go all out. So it's kind of I'm going to share those little tips with you.
And lashes too.
Oh, and lashes. Lashes actually is my very first tutorial, because that's what started me on this whole idea to even do this.
I think lashes are your brand.
I feel like they could be.
Right?
Yeah, I am obsessed with lashes.
I noticed your lashes right away, and so I was always like, Ashley,
Yeah,
and
I think I kind of got you into lashes.
How do I
didn't
get lashes like that? And so I think that's how I knew that
Yeah.
you had so many other talents outside of the voiceover industry. So, lashes for sure.
For sure.
And what I think is great is you're establishing a really incredible brand on YouTube. So Ashley U sounds really great.
The reason I started it was because people would come up and ask me questions. They'd say, oh my gosh, I love your eyelashes, right? And so we'd start talking, and I'd tell them where to buy them, tell them what glue to do, I tell them how to do it. And I really enjoyed and loved helping people. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if I could help more people at once? How cool would that be? And so I was like, well, we live in an age where it's possible. And I was like, so
Anything's
let's
possible.
do it. So I've been kind of creating this for I think about a year and a half now, and it's finally coming to fruition. I'd let it go over in my brain how I want to shoot, how I want to do whatever. So I'm actually mixing my voiceover talent with my acting talent, and then also bringing my makeup and hair stuff to it.
What a great way to get your brand known. I like that. That's pretty ingenious.
Yeah, thanks.
Because it is a competitive, voiceover is a competitive, and acting is a competitive industry. So I like how you've kind of melded the three together to evolve your brand, and especially with video being so prevalent today. So that's really, really smart. I love that. So how often will you be releasing videos?
To start, I'm probably going to do about once a week, and then depending on what happens, I actually want to just be if something happens to me that day, or if I discover something new or a new product, I'm just going to jump in front of the camera, shoot it real quick, edit it, and get it out. That's my goal in the end, is to just kind of almost share daily life.
Okay.
Ashley U Life with you.
Ashley U Life.
You learn as I learn, and also I want people to be able to. If they know something really cool, or if I've done something or it inspires them to do something else, hey, tell me what it is, and then I'll share it, or I'll do it too, because I always want to do everything the best way you can do it. So I'm open to people sharing with me. I want it to be a classroom experience. So that's why
I get that.
I'm calling it a class and not a tutorial.
I love that. Well, you're infectious, girl. I love it. I'm so excited for this new venture and for your career. I mean, you really seem to be taking off. And so how can people find you?
I have a website,
Okay.
AshleyULife.com. It'll then be connected to my YouTube, which will be Ashley U Life. And then also I'm on Facebook, so you can follow me at Ashley Ulery, which is my maiden name, Ulery.
Thank you.
And and I got a Twitter, Ashley Ulery as well.
Awesome.
And I'm probably on Pinterest. I'm probably everywhere. You're going to find me. I'll leave links to all my stuff on my YouTube.
Okay, we'll definitely find you. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you,
here
Ann.
and interviewing with me.
Oh my
It's been
gosh. I love
a
you.
pleasure, and I cannot wait for your tutorials to come out and your next book. And
I know, me
everybody,
too.
Ashley Snyder.
Oh,
Ashley,
thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you.